Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I'm Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. I'm currently traveling for a secret VR presentation, so I do apologize for the audio quality, but all of this travel has given me plenty of time to put together all of my notes on some of VR's biggest upcoming releases. Now, not only will I be going over these titles, but I also thought it could be really fun to go over my expectations and then compare it to many of the first impression demos that I will be getting at Gamescom next week. Now, there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, and I'll make sure to give you my expected pros and cons on each video. Now, today's first title is Alien Rogue Incursion. Here I'm expecting some really solid graphics, true-to-life art and sound from the Alien franchise, and most likely some solid gameplay. I am, however, a bit nervous on this title, as Survios has been hit or miss throughout the years, and their previous title, The Walking Dead Onslaught, was kind of atrocious. They may also push this title in the wrong direction, making it either too actiony or having zero attempt at an overall storyline. Now, during an interview, the way they described this game, it also almost sounds like a roguelite, which is so overdone in VR and not what we're really looking for. Now, the one complaint I've seen online that I think is total BS is that people somehow seem to be annoyed that you play as a black woman. The argument I heard here is that VR is all about immersion, and I can't jump into the role of a black female, and to that I say, have you not played Half-Life Alyx? That whole conversation is just absolutely ridiculous. What will make or break this title is the overall playstyle. With the Walking Dead Onslaught, I know they tried to do these missions where you had to get in and get out really quickly, and I'm scared they might follow suit with Alien Rogue Incursion, so while I am excited for this title, and every single new trailer that drops makes it look better and better, I'm still a little skeptical, and I believe it's all going to just come down to how they design the overall gameplay. If it has a nice mix of action, storytelling, and stealth, then it's a solid Alien game, but if it tries to just hammer home one of those, it probably won't cut it. Now, moving on to the next big upcoming release, we have Hitman 3 Reloaded. Now, Hitman 3 previously released for PlayStation VR, and mechanically, it was an absolute mess. Now, I believe they'll fix the majority of that in the brand new Reloaded Quest version. However, I think the graphics are going to be slapped back about 10 years in time. They're going with a new shell-shaded style, which I do say tends to really work well in VR. However, from the few clips that I've seen, it's just not looking great. Ultimately though, gameplay trumps everything else, so I still have a good amount of hope for this title. Now my hope meter continues to increase with our next title, Metro Awakening. This first-person, story-driven shooter set in the Metro universe is most likely going to deliver. As this is releasing from Vertigo Games, I am expecting it will still have an underlining feel similar to Arizona Sunshine 2, however it will have a completely different tone and a much grittier world to explore. The fact that they're working in conjunction with the original developers should definitely help this title, and since Vertigo Games has a proven track record with shooters, my expectations are quite high. It's just going to come down to certain elements, like how polished is the title, does it have a worthwhile storyline, and are they able to recreate the same magic that the flat game experience delivered. At worst, I feel like this could be a B+ title. Now next up we have Zombie Army VR. Now I definitely don't think this will be the best new release, but most likely a title we know exactly what we're gonna get. Rebellion gave us Sniper Elite, which was a solid shooter, but now they'll strip out the majority of those stealth and sniper mechanics, which for most people were hit or miss, and then they'll just ramp up the action with some co-op zombie shooting. Killing zombies in VR somehow never seems to get old or that stale. Yes, it's definitely not the best experience, but VR could do much worse. So if your goal is just fun gameplay, definitely put Zombie Army VR on your wish list. Now I have even higher expectations for Gunman Contract's Standalone. If you're not familiar with this game, it was originally an absolutely fantastic Half-Life Alyx mod. You took on a John Wick assassin style role, and the combat was just so realistic and gritty. Well, now they're set to be free of the confines of just being a mod, and the fact that they're releasing for both PCVR and flat screen makes me believe we're going to get a truly high-end product. This is, however, still indie development from an unproven studio, so things can still always go sideways. Now, next up we have Skydance's Behemoth, and this is from the same studio that gave us the absolutely amazing Saints and Sinners Walking Dead titles. Now they're moving on to their own IP, where you take on the role of a cursed warrior with no memories, who has to go rid the land of some giant creatures in order to break that curse. Now I actually got a little demo of this game already, and I think it's definitely going to deliver. Some of that excellent Saints and Sinners melee combat carries over, but now you just feel much more empowered. You have supernatural strength and a bunch of abilities at your disposal, so for once in a Skydance game you're going to feel like an overpowered badass until you get face to face with those giant creatures. Now my only overall feel for this title is that it might get a bit too repetitive. It looks like we'll be traversing the same land throughout the entire game. They haven't showed off much diversity in enemies, and I really don't know what we're getting in terms of storytelling. So mechanically and combat-wise, I think the game is completely solid, but if it's going to be an absolute banger, we will need a little bit more than that. Now I only have 2 more big releases that I want to discuss, and the next one is Wanderer Fragments of Fate. If you're unfamiliar with the title, it is a narrative-rich puzzle game that has you traveling throughout time. It previously released for PlayStation and PCVR, but this upcoming version is not only coming to the Quest also, but it's basically a full remaster. The original version was already fantastic. Graphically stunning, compelling storyline, and some head-scratching puzzles. But this new version just wants to push things to the next level. Not only do they want to make those great graphics even better, but they're also polishing up elements of the original game, adding new mechanics, and even a bunch of new content. Now the only thing that has me slightly concerned, but actually might be a good thing, is the fact that they've delayed this game twice now. Now they did this because they knew the game wasn't quite ready just yet, and they are aiming to release on 3 separate platforms, which is no easy task, and deliver a polished product. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic game. And last up, the game that I am most excited for, but also the most concerned about, is Batman Arkham Shadow. Now my biggest concern here is the fact that the game is releasing this year, and we've only seen CGI trailers. Usually that's a pretty big red flag, but I'm trying to remain hopeful here. Now Arkham Shadow is coming from Camouflage, the same studio that gave us Iron Man VR, which I absolutely loved. So you take an absolutely fantastic IP like Batman, put it in the hands of a proven studio, and then give them the extra money backing from Meta. Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for something great. Now my other major concern here is how the heck do you make a Batman VR game? As cool as the 2016 Batman VR title was, it was really much more of an experience, and there was no combat at all. Now the Arkham series is also kind of at an all-time low right now, after the debacle that was Suicide Squad. So I really wouldn't want to follow up that game, but again, that's flat screen and this is the VR world, so it shouldn't matter too much. Now I will say that Camouflage did pull off the Iron Man feel. I definitely felt like I was donning the armor, flying around, and using some of his iconic weapons. So I really hope they're able to recreate that magic, and pull off the same effect for the Dark Knight. Okay guys, that was my expectations on some of the biggest upcoming VR games in 2024. Now I made this video now because I'm heading out to Gamescom, and I'm hoping I'll get to try at least some of these titles. Now we also know we're definitely getting a new Batman trailer, so at minimum we'll at least see a little bit more of this game. So once I'm back, it'll be really fun to compare my expectations with a little bit of reality. I'm absolutely pumped for the remainder of 2024, and I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. What game are you most excited for? Now if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you guys on next time.